The first thing I'm going to cover with the actual Metatrader 4 itself next are the actual toolbars. Okay, so let's get started with those. So you can see when you initially start Metatrader up, you're going to get 4 screens that look a little bit like this. This isn't unusual, this is very normal, and we can go ahead and start to adapt and make sure, customize this to our settings. The first thing I want to note is that if we have indeed installed our profiles correctly on Metatrader 4, we should have under the Profiles tab a few more profiles here. So you can see you've got MA Retrace and you've got Pivot Bounce Off. Okay, now I have 1 or 2 others because I've done a little experimentation with this a little while back, but you should have at least those 2. Okay, so those will now be apparent on your Metatrader 4 installation, which is a good sign. When you do click under them, let's take the MA Retrace for example, you'll have screens which have our trading strategies pretty much pre-set up already for you. So you can see the lift-off strategies for the GBP USD, the Euro USD as well, and you've also got dollar yen just there, and in the corner dollar Swiss. So these are for our lift-off strategy that we do trade. The only one missing is the Euro yen, but you could put that on pretty easily, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. Good. So with that said, the next thing I'm going to do is just switch back to where we were at the beginning, which is that default profile, and just show you a little bit about Metatrader and how we can get sort of up and running. I'm going to start with the toolbars. Okay, so at the top now I'm going to explain these different buttons because we do have quite a few of them. So the first button in the corner, left hand corner, is basically got a green plus arrow on it. It means new chart. We can click onto it and go ahead and add a new chart to our current setup. So this, I've just added a chart of GBP USD. You can pretty much add a new chart for most major currencies and mixes and crosses and minors that are available with ThinkForex there. Okay. If you want to switch between the different profiles, which I was just showing you just a moment ago, you just click onto the Profiles button and it will allow you to actually select a profile which you can actually look at and switch to and from. The next button across is called the Market Watch. It's got a green and red arrow on it, and it basically will give you a list of currencies and the bid and ask prices that they're currently sitting at. Okay. Next up on the side just there, so you can normally click and deselect to collapse the window as well. I like to have as minimal amount of windows on the screen as possible, especially when trading. You want to be nice and comfortable and looking at pretty much just the charts themselves. The next one across is called the data window. Very, very useful window. And what this will give you is the data for each of the individual bars. So I can drag that out pretty easily, or I can have it on the left hand side. It's pretty much up to you. I like to have it sitting in the middle because it occupies a lot less space. And if I bring up my crosshair, which is this button just here, if I hover over a bar, this data window will actually give me the statistics for that bar. So when I'm hovering over this current Euro-dollar 4-hour bar, it's giving me the open as 1.2389, the high is 123.90, the low is 123.67, and the close at 123.75 currently, and that's changing obviously as the market is moving. So with that said, you can see that that's the data window just there, and you can close that if you no longer need to see it, and you can open it up anytime you want just by clicking onto that data window button. The next thing that you've got on the side is the navigator, which we don't need just for now, but it will display your account and your account number just there, as well as any indicators that you have added onto the actual Metatrader 4 platform. You've also then got the terminal window, which I'm going to be walking you through how to use in the next few minutes. You've also then got a button that says New Order. this will allow you to actually place a trade onto the ThinkForex platform. Again, I'm going to be showing you how to use that. And you've got a plethora of buttons at the top here. This too quite important, allow you to switch between bar chart and candlesticks, and a line chart. For those of you that do look at line charts, I've never looked at a line chart personally, but that's the OHLC and the candlesticks just there. You're also pretty easily able to zoom in and out of the charts using the buttons at the top just here as well. You've also got two buttons at the top here. These are pretty important. If you've ever actually tried to scroll backwards in Metatrader and annoyingly the price keeps jumping back to the current point, which you can see is happening here. If you want to take that off, you just need to deselect this auto scroll button, and then you can move back, and you will find that Metatrader 4 will not jump you back to the current moment in time. This red button just shifts the chart back to the most recent data. Quite useful if you're doing backtesting and you want to get back to the most recent data. You've then got some drawing tools at the bottom here. Some of these are quite useful, and for those of you that use our daily market outlook and are subscribed onto the live trade mentorship service, you'll have seen me go ahead and sort of highlight these key levels that do set up on the market in terms of swing highs and swing lows. And you can see you can just go ahead and draw in some lines just by using these tools just here. If you select one of the lines and press Control on your keyboard and keep Control pressed down and click and drag, you can actually copy these lines across pretty quickly. Okay, and that's very easy to do just by holding down Control. Okay, I'm going to just delete these lines now just by selecting them all by double clicking and pressing delete. Another drawing tool that you've got there is the trend line tool. So you just need to click once and hold, and you can go ahead and draw on your trend lines. For those of you that do use trend lines, that's how to draw on a trend line. You've also got a Fibonacci retracement tool as well, again very popular, and you can use to go ahead and draw on Fibonacci retracements, and that will give you some key data obviously as to retracement levels. So the way to use that is just by selecting the tool, clicking, holding and dragging up to your endpoint, and then releasing your mouse button just there. Okay, so that's the Fibonacci retracement tool. You've also got a couple of other tools that allow you to add text if you are looking at something and you would like to add some text to say what it was you were looking at. So I'll give you an example. So we've got Fibonacci retracement on the Euro-Dollar 4 hour, and I've just made a note of that using text. Quite useful, but it can become annoying because it will stick to the chart, so you may want to take that off at some point. To do that, just double click onto it and just press delete. Same as any other tool on here, double click and press delete, it will remove it for you. Okay, the last thing along here is the different time frames that you do have. So you've got the option to see a 1 minute chart. You can see ThinkForex there just downloading all of the 1 minute data for us. If I go ahead and zoom in, you can see Euro-Dollar on a 1 minute chart just there. You've got the option to have a 5 minute chart. You've got the option to have a 15-minute chart, a 30-minute chart, an hourly, a 4-hour, and a daily chart. You can also see weekly and monthly charts as well. Okay, so that's just viewing the data from different time frames. I'm going to switch this back over to a 4-hour chart, and what I am going to do next is just show you how to change the color of these bars, because you'll obviously not want to just be looking at green bars. You'll want to be looking at bars that are both seller bars as well as buyer bars. And the easy way to do that is just to right click on the Metatrader 4 platform, hit the properties button, and click on to under bar down, just the red color, and hit OK. And you'll see what will happen is if we look at OHLC bars, these will transform across to buyer and seller bars of different colors. Okay, just flick back to my agenda. So we've gone over the toolbars. Let's have a quick look in a little bit of detail at the Market Watch window now. I'm going to bring up the Market Watch window one more time just here. Okay, so it's giving me a list of currencies. Currently I'm looking at the Euro-Dollar 4 hour. If I wanted to flick across to another currency, very simple, just click onto GBP USD, hold, and drag and drop onto the chart just there. And again on Euro USD, click, hold, and drag, and you can see I can just switch to any currency, dollar, yen, by just clicking, holding, and dragging and dropping onto this chart the different currencies. Okay, so that's all something that we can capitalize on just there. Okay, so that's very easy to do using the Market Watch window. I'll just pull back the Euro-Dollar data. The next thing that I will then look at on my agenda is the chart window. Okay, so chart window, you can see we can create new charts first of all using the first button across here. The window itself, you can see you can actually have several windows on at the same time. If you want to maximize one of them, make one of them bigger, you just need to click the maximize button. You can then also restore that by clicking the restore button, and that will bring you back just there as well. So the chart window itself, pretty straightforward to use and navigate. And remember, if you want to change any of the properties, like take the grid off in the background, it can all be found by right clicking on the chart, and the various options are there. For example, grid, you can see I'm just toggling on and off just by pressing that just there. I've also got the properties tab where I can actually change different properties. You can see that currently I've got a line going across the current price, Euro-Dollar 4 hour. If I want to take that off under this grid button, I just click onto none and I click OK, and you can see that that will disappear just there. This makes my chart a little bit cleaner, and I personally prefer having charts that look like this, so I've got nothing but the price and I can just focus on that. Okay, next item on my agenda, I've got the terminal window that I'm going to have a look at. The terminal window I'm actually going to come back to, but I will flick it on. So just by clicking this button just here, I've got the terminal window, and that's that button just there. You can see I've got the terminal window, and that's up and running. So that is pretty much at the bottom now, and you can see I've got trade. I've got a dry account here with $50,000 US in it, and I can pretty much go ahead and place trades on that. I'm going to come back to that right at the end, the actual placing trades. But that's the terminal window. I've also then got properties of charts, which we've also already quickly had a look at actually. So if I just right click and I bring up the properties tab, you can see that I can actually change various properties of this. We change the grid to make it come on and off. I can actually change the colors of the different bars if I wanted to. I can also change the bid and ask, and the stop loss, and the entry lines and things like that. When we place a trade, we'll get a line printed onto Metatrader, and we can change the colors of those all using this properties tab just here. Not too important, I don't think. The main thing is to have bar down as red and bar up as green, and that's pretty much all we need really from Metatrader just there. So you're probably starting to see a very simple platform to use, very easy and straightforward. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. Once you're used to it, it is actually very simple to use. You've then also got zooming in and out, so let me talk a little bit about that really quickly. Let's just maximize this chart here. So Euro-Dollar 4 hour, if I wanted to zoom in and out, I've got two ways of doing it. I've got a magnifying glasses here up at the top. If I wanted to zoom in, I'm just going to click onto the zoom in plus button. If I want to zoom out, I'm just going to click several times onto that minus arrow just there, and you can see I get a lot more data for Eurodollar 4 hour just by zooming out. Again, if I want to zoom back in, I can do that just by clicking onto the button. If I want to get back to the most present point on the graph, the most current time, I'm just going to click onto this red button, and you can see I am back to where the current data is here at the moment. Okay. So that's zooming in and out. We've had a quick look already at dragging and dropping the various currencies onto the chart from the market watch window. And we've also had a quick look at the line tools as well. So let me just recap with the line tools. Again, you've got some drawing tools here, so horizontal line, maybe a popular one that you use. You could just click and hold and just change these options quite quickly by just dropping on some lines. If you want to change the color of these lines, just double click, right click onto the line itself, horizontal line properties, and you can go ahead and change the color just there. You can also use that tab to change the style of the line. Perhaps you want a green line that is solid. You can do that just there. Very, very straightforward and simple to do. So remember, I'm going to be making a recording of this session, so there's no need to panic. You don't probably need to write everything down or try it all, you know, in a rush. What you can do is just stage yourself, just watch this recording a few times back. I'm sure by now everyone's gotten used to my voice, as lovely as it is. So you can go ahead and watch this tutorial back as many times as you need to, just to get the hang of the actual functions and application Metatrader itself. Okay. So that's the line tools that we're using just there. Adding EMAs. So the next thing we're going to do is sort of just add some moving averages in. We're going to click onto Insert, and we're going to go to Indicators, Trend, and then you've got Moving Average. Okay, so all you need to do is click under Indicators, Trend, and Moving Average. Just click onto that now. I can put in various moving averages, a 20 period exponential moving average in blue, and I'll just press OK, and I'll do another one as well. So a 50 period exponential moving average in red, and I'll click OK just there as well, and one more. In green, and I'll click OK just there. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're looking at there in terms of moving averages and adding moving averages. You can also add a host of other indicators to the actual chart just by looking under here. Popular ones are things like the MACD, which are found under oscillators. You can just click onto that. It will probably give you the default settings. You just hit OK, and you can see the MACD. Normally with the MACD, with the way we teach it on Traders Basecamp, there are two lines. Here you can just see one line, but actually it's the outline of the histogram that is the second line. So that's the MACD line itself. You can see the MACD line here crossing down through that level, giving us a sell signal. MACD line here crossing up through the indicator line, giving us at this stage a buy signal. So that's the way to use the MACD. I'm just going to right click and remove this. You can also add the stochastic oscillator, which is the other indicator we teach on the Traders Basecamp. Again, you can just click OK, and you can see the actual stochastic oscillator just there as well. Again, to remove that, I'm just going to right click and hit delete indicator window. If for any reason I wanted to modify the settings of the stochastic, I just need to double click, just need to right click in the indicator window. In fact, I need to right click on the indicator itself and just hit stochastic 533 properties, and it will actually allow me to make any modifications I want to that. So I can actually put on an 1133 stochastic now and just press OK. You'll see that that will change according to the parameters I have specified. Okay, going to right click onto that now and just press delete indicator window. Brilliant. Okay, so the next thing up really here is switching between profiles, which we've already done, and we'll do it again. And the last thing up here I've got is a terminal window, and we're going to have placing a trade as well. So switching profiles, remember you've got this button in the top left hand corner. You just need to click, hold, and you can select different profiles. And remember, changes that you've made will automatically be saved. You won't need to do things more than once. If you're setting something up, a different profile, then you can of course make changes to it, move across to another profile and leave it, and when you come back you'll see that it will be absolutely fine and exactly where you left it as well. Okay.